Welcome to the Lovely Little Crisis podcast. I'm your host, Cheniece Patrick. In each episode, we'll dive into insightful conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you navigate the worlds of work, life, and self with confidence and grace. This podcast is your go-to resource for mastering personal development, well-being, and living life as the best version of yourself. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey of growth and transformation together. Everybody likes free things. My business operations starter kit comes with a comprehensive 16-page fillable guidebook ready for you to immediately get down to business by reading and working through all of its contents. You'll visit topics from your business development itself, to useful document templates, and even to the management of all of your recurring meetings and entrepreneurial tasks. No stone will be left unturned as you're guided through the total management of your business as its owner or manager. Alongside this management guidebook comes a ClickUp template coordinate that seamlessly complements the starter kit's included directions. You'll be able to immediately take the reins of this powerful project management tool with my simple plug-and-play folder template ready for you to install. A refined approach to the total management of your business is only a few clicks away, and it's all yours to experience for free. When you join my free email community, you'll be sent instant access to the Business Operations Starter Kit straight to your inbox. Get started at cheniece.com/free. That's CHENIECE.com/free. Hello, listeners of the Lovely Little Crisis podcast. I'm Cheniece Patrick of Cheniece Patrick OBM, which is my digital operations management consultancy, where I do provide fractional chief operations officer services to my clients, and I've been doing that since late 2022. I also write and podcast for Lovely Little Crisis, the email inbox publication, which is where you're meeting me at right now. Today, I'd like to host an episode, A Day in the Life of Me would be the topic of today's episode. I'd like to tour you a typical standard day in my life as an online business manager, a mom to 2 toddlers, a wife, a writer, podcaster, and so much more. So I'd like to tour this realistic daily routine through the weekdays, from my waking up to right before my bedtime routine. So let's jump right in. In the early a.m., right upon waking, I wake up at the same time every day around 6:30 a.m. I wake up early and I help my husband prepare our son for school. My husband takes our son to school while I stay home, and our daughter stays back with me while my husband takes our son, our firstborn, to school. While I'm at home, I perform my mommy duties, which would be diapering, feeding, entertaining, things like that, until my open office hours start. And I have open office hours every Monday through Friday. It would start at 11 a.m. and last until 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and ends at 5 p.m. on Fridays. So then my working day starts right at 11 a.m. I turn on my business communicator phone through my CRM, and I get ready for my working day. The very first thing that I do would be I would open my browser. I use Google Chrome. I open my browser. And when I open my browser, I have several dedicated tabs that come up and open for me automatically. And those tabs would open to a page for my project management tool, ClickUp, a tab for my Google Calendar, a tab for Google Drive, and a tab for my email. And I spend a little bit of time and I just check on each of those tabs when I first start my working day. Next, I would immediately then go to my project management tool, which is ClickUp, as I am a verified ClickUp consultant and I do perform platform-related tasks and services for my clients often and regularly. So I open ClickUp just to see what tasks are due for that day and to see my agenda, to see what all is on my plate, more or less, for the day. And using the insights gained from that, I then start to time block my day. And I like to time block my day based on a couple of factors. I time block my day based on the theme of the day and my client load. The theme of the day dictates what internal tasks that I work on that day. So I have different themes for different days of the week. So for one day of the week, that would be marketing related. So I would perform tasks dedicated to my marketing obligations. On that day, there's a day for admin work. So that would be another theme. Another theme would be my CEO day, which I have on Mondays, every Monday. And I also like to do a finish up Friday. So those are some of my themes for my theme days, again, which would dictate what work I do internally. Next, I time block my day based on my client load. Now, my client load dictates the tasks that I'm doing for each client's block. So each client would have a different block of time, and my client load would dictate what tasks I'm working on during each of those blocks for each client. Now, during this time, through the middle of the day, I do take a pause. I take a break, and my calendar has an automatic busy block set in there, timed in there. And during this busy block of time on my booking calendar, I actually go and I do pick up our son from school. And we come back home and we all have lunch together. Me and the kids do. And during that busy block, I also tend to my kids' needs. So again, that's feeding, entertaining, any care that they need, any schoolwork or lessons that my son has due for his school that he goes to, his preschool. And then after that busy block is over, I do return to my work as an OBM. And so I do use the rest of my time in the time blocks to finish up any work that I have left for those time blocks until they're ended. Generally, I work anywhere from about 4 to 6 hours per day on average, I'd say. And again, all of this is going towards my work day. Now we're getting into the evening routine. What happens for my evening routine? I do end working for the day, and so that time would be 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. on Fridays. So I do actually end my working, and I close my open office hours at that time. And then I take some time to prepare for the next working day. And that involves transferring any leftover tasks that I had not finished that day to the next day so that they will be due. Also take some time to clean off my desk. And I put any appointments in my calendar that I've acquired during the day. And I also check tomorrow's agenda to see what I have lined up. I then take some time to run any errands that I have left over so far as domestic errands, whether I have to run to a store or just do things at home, such as water the plants or feed the cats. And next up is my bedtime routine for the kids. So I carry out the bedtime routine for our kids. I give them their final meal. I get them ready for bed, dressed for bed, and put them in their bed, and I close the door on them when they're going down to sleep. Next, me and my husband, we have dinner together, rushed usually most of the time, but we do have dinner ourselves, a final meal a little bit after we put our kids down to sleep. And after dinner, I take some time as personal time. I use this as a personal reflection time. And I spend that time doing some reading or watching an interesting series that I might have been interested in. I do some socializing. I handle some calls to family members, to friends, things like that. And so right before bed, I would engage in some good sleep hygiene and doing those tasks, which would include bathing right before bedtime and getting comfortable in bed. And I don't go to sleep immediately. What usually happens is I'll actually lie in bed. I'll lie there for a while reading until I actually do fall asleep. And so there you have it. I like to just sort of recap a day in the life of me. We have my early morning routine with my kids. Then it would feed into my working day home with my daughter, to picking up my son, having lunch, finishing out my time blocks for work, running any errands after finishing my work for the day, and ending my open office hours, tending to my home, having dinner, putting the kids down, and getting in bed myself. I'd like to thank you for listening to my very, very exciting day, a standard day in the life of me as a mom, podcaster, online business manager, wife, and so much more. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the Lovely Little Crisis podcast show, and you can do that at cheniece.com/podcast. So that's CHENIECE.com/podcast. Also, please be sure to subscribe to my email community, my email inbox community newsletter. And you can do that at cheniece.com/list. CHENIECE.com/list. And when you sign up for the newsletter, the email community, I want to remind you that you do get instant access to my free business digital operations starter kit and ClickUp template coordinate. So make sure you do that and subscribe, sign on up for that email community today. Stay tuned for more episodes hosted by myself, including the planned featured guest interviews that I have in the works with some very intriguing women of various walks of life with varied stories. You're going to love to hear that. And I hope to meet you in the next episode. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Lovely Little Crisis podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining me on this enriching conversation. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite listening platform. For more resources, tips, and updates, visit our website at cheniece.com/podcast. Until next time, keep designing a life that brings you joy, fulfillment, and success. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next episode.